No, it's telling me we're live. So welcome from the crossroads of America. Talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience, either in the chat or by email at rickslifeasIseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that other stuff down there in the info section below. Okay, let's see who's in the chat at the moment. Is very active this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. First in was G23, then Southpaw RX, Gun Loving Grandpa, Jason Stewart. Who we got? Make Joe, MKJO, how you would ever pronounce that? Vanessa Kitty's here. 2 Live Moo. So we're doing pretty good. 2 Live Moo asked how the hip feeling. Feeling pretty good, actually. I've put away the I stored the, because I've been using a shower bench to get in and out of the shower, sit on it and slide myself in. Got rid of that the other day. So, I'm stepping in and stepping out and standing up in the shower and all that good stuff. I'm even getting in my truck. Putting my left leg on the running board, pulling myself up and sliding right on in there like you're meant to. So my hip is pretty good. Now I'm gonna start. I'm still using the cane because without it, when I walk, I wobble from side to side like this. But with the cane, I walk straight. It's I don't know why, but so I need to get rid of the cane. But I'm going to start walking. The weather's changing here. Now we're getting up in the 50s and stuff every day. So I'm going to, even if I just walk 50 yards down to the end of the road, turn around and come back just to get started, to get fit, because I am out of shape big time. So there we go. That's what's happening. Anyway, let me introduce my panel. Who we got here? Who's here? We lost somebody, didn't we? Up here in the corner, we got Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Rick. Thanks for the invite. Always good to see everybody.
Yep. Then we got Wheelchair Luke. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Then we got New York Outcast.
Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Then we got
a good show.
The one and only Scribload.
50 degrees, my ass. I'm freezing out here.
Well, you're in Michigan. What do you expect? If you use an attachment and build up some sweat getting that undone, you wouldn't be cold. Patriot in the Dark, how you doing?
I'm doing great. At least I'm not stuck over there by Rob. So you got Squib in between, I guess, right?
Well, no, actually,
no.
On my screen, you're right. On my screen, you're right next to him.
Ready to get cooties?
That's all right. It's all right. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Best show.
Mind you, if you drop out and come back in, then you'll slide over one and you won't be next to him. Then we got the Willed and Well Armed. How you doing?
I'm good, Rick. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Okay. Patriot's done it too. Oh, man. Come on, Patriot. Get your ass back in here. Okay. There he is. He's come back in. He's moved over. He's away from Squib now.
Howdy, neighbor.
He's got Will and Well Armed between him and Squib now. All right. We're going to talk about a few things, but my main topic, as my title says, what happens to your firearms when you pass? Have you guys made arrangements? Who gets them? Has anybody going to get them? You're going to put them in a trust? You're going to have them all sold, or you give them to their family members? And have you guys ever figured that part out yet? Let's start with you, Jason.
That's a good question, Rick. I like that one. I haven't done anything about it yet. I've thought about it many times about putting my stuff in a trust. I just always assume I still have time to do it. But if I have time to plan it out, yeah, I'm just going to give my stuff away to family and friends. And that's kind of my plans with it. I'd hate for it to go unexpectedly and then like the state or somebody just come take it all. So getting them put in a trust or something pre-planned is something I really do need to get accomplished.
Yeah. How about you, Luke?
I've actually never thought about that, and I couldn't tell you the beginning of what I would need to go through to do that. So for this question, I'm just going to say I'm not educated enough yet to be able to answer your question. And I admit that.
All right. Vanessa Kitty in chat says you leave them in your will or sell ahead of time. Or let others have a field day Easter egg hunt. Okay. New York Outcast, what about you?
I don't have anything set up. I have in the past, but now it doesn't count in a sense. So I should work on something. I know I plan on leaving the state. If I didn't, I would definitely have something set up ahead of time to where I gifted firearms to the individuals I wanted, or at least on paper that way, and they could collect them, at my passing or whatever. Done in, obviously amounts that keep things low because there's taxes in New York in a sense. So even when if you die and you gift anything over 10 grand, you're paying for taxes and things. So I would personally try to do anything I did in amounts to where it would be a private deal and I don't need an attorney or they don't need anybody to get in between anything. So, because obviously I'd gift them to people I felt were legal. What they did with them was on them. By law, they'd have to go down and, have a NICS check ran on them to have it transferred over for long guns. Handguns would be a little different, but, I don't want to go down a long, big road. I don't have anything in place currently, but I definitely should. So, although I do have confidence things would be handled well without the government getting involved. But at this point, it's hard to say. And like I said, I should have something on paper because you never know.
Yeah, you're right. Squib.
Yeah, what?
The question.
Whoever gets to the house first gets the best pick on the guns. Duh. Haven't you guys ever rushed to your dead relative's house to try to get the good stuff before your other relatives do?
No,
I guess I'm the only hillbilly in this chat.
Yeah, I guess you are. You're the only Nathaniel. How do you pronounce it?
One straight line in the tree. All right, so this is how hillbillies handle it. All right, whoever gets to the house first gets first dibs. Also, you're usually packing heat during the actual funeral itself. So you could, go and just, get hold of their handgun, and then that's what you carry to the funeral. You're good to go. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, you definitely are. I mean, you sure you're not a Texan?
I got to back Squib up on that. I think that's quite common. That's what I'd like to avoid in a sense, but because it's usually the asshole that's got the first jump on things. So
yeah,
you definitely want to cover your butt when it comes to things like that because people get awful terrible when it comes to death and possessions.
In my opinion, firstborn, first son, they get high dibs on everything.
Well,
That
good
firstborn
point.
could be a pain in the ass or trouble or not legally able. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Will and well armed. What do you got organized? Anything?
I have a will, and I've got a 9-year-old son. So, yeah, I guess my wife would keep it in her possession till he's legal. And but I do have 3 NFA items that are not covered. I guess they either have to be turned in, or my son would have to apply for it. He can't do that till he's 21, I guess. So, not prepared all the way, but halfway prepared.
Okay. Well, seems like you're ahead of the rest of us here. Patriot in the dark. I hope you got this all answered, because technically this was your question.
There's so much with this. First off, anything in writing doesn't matter. Especially with something that's sudden. Obviously, I'm thinking about this. This is fresh in my head. But as far as thinking that somebody, you're going to rely on somebody to look at a paper and turn things over, especially in a situation where it was unexpected, their head's not going to be in it, and there's all that thing. Whoever's first is usually the guy that doesn't have a job, that shows up at the house first. So there is that. There's a lot to it. I know what I have. I have things listed because there's nobody out there that doesn't have stuff that other people don't know about. So we all have our stashes of things and whatever. There's be it money, anything, because this is more than just guns. Especially if you're single. I mean, if you got a wife or a significant other, I guess that might work. But even like that with kids, if you have a underage kid, and what happens if something happens to you and your wife or your spouse, where do they sit until those kids come of age? Is there somebody designated for that? There's so many things that you got to think about, because we all think I got plenty of time to look at it, but when there's young people in their 20s that pass away, and then they have stuff, and nobody to take it, and a lot of the places around, I don't know, when they start going into a house legally, I mean, obviously if you have family or something that can go into your house and check out things, but if whoever, I don't know the process of if you're single, you die, and you have friends and family that don't live with you, who's in charge of your stuff, until whatever. I mean, I don't know how that all works, but it's definitely something you got to look at. Even like me, I have a logbook that I have the prices and values of things that to anybody else don't mean nothing. Somebody I know walk in and look at a pistol and they're like, oh yeah, it's I bring it up to the jerk gun shop that I don't like. They're probably have to get a couple $100 if it's a $2,000 for the pistol at any other place. So listing places to sell stuff. I mean, if you got family that isn't into firearms, or you got a kid that's in college or something, and you've got things that are worth something, to make a list. I mean, not that everybody's got to know about, but hey, if anything happens to me, first thing you do is look at my PO box, or in the safe there's a hot pink binder like Squib's got, that's got all the things listed, so you can turn them over.
Okay, but if somebody got, is there other people who have access to your safe?
Well, that's the thing. That you have to, that's all in that process of getting things set up. You can set up a will. I've never done the will thing besides nonsense when I was younger or whatever, just because of service or whatever, but nothing that's Normally it was because I always had somebody around. You either have a wife or somebody that's a.
Hey, Patriot, when you do fill out a will, and with a lawyer or even with Zoom, all those contingencies are there. So when you pass away first, and what happens to your money, it goes to my wife. I mean, it's easy when you're married.
Yeah.
But with the will, as far as you and your wife pass away at the same time, there's contingencies for that, and who you want to be that caretaker. Where the money goes to. You might have a different person doling out the money than the caretaker. So there's a lot of different contingencies to make it work that are built into a will and well thought out. So, if you get the will and go through that process, you understand the workflow better and have a great outcome.
And so that means don't write it on the back of a napkin and think that's going to be good enough. There's always other questions. And that's the thing. When you're healthy and you got time, make sure you're asking those questions. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can find online, I guess, but that's neither here nor there. But as far as listing things, I mean, even if it's like I said, if you make a log book that's a private thing that you have everything listed, or even tags on things you don't use as much, that are just in there for that you're collecting or whatever, just so that the kid or the wife or whoever can kind of figure out what's going on, that they don't go, the pool guy comes up and says, "Oh no, he said that was a garbage one. He said I could get that. Oh, I'll give you $50 for it." Just so that there's an idea that if there is things of value, have them listed. If there's things that are more, hey, this was your great grandpa's, this was XYZ, some kind of pedigree with it, that you write that stuff down, because not only would if your kid says, "Oh yeah, that was grandpa's," but he doesn't know anything about it, or they don't know that pedigree, that's a good thing to write down too, as far as that. But as far as other things in the house, most of my stuff they just throw it to the dump. I would, it's not a big thing, but there is collections that I have things that are collected that nobody else knows about, just because it's nothing that was ever brought up. And so having a list of that kind of stuff is I don't know. I think it's really important, but definitely finding out exactly, one of these legal things, and you might have to pay a lawyer or pay this, and do some things, but even that trust where everything's in a group, and my kid's part of the trust, or however that's set up, that whole process, it's better to do it now, because you could be fine and then just have some stupid garbage wrench break and something would fall on you, and you would then what?
Why would you come up with such a morbid question to begin with?
Because I had somebody that was 25, had a whole bunch of stuff, just passed away yesterday, and he was a health guy, and so there was nothing, no signs, nothing wrong with the guy, and then he just died, and he's got a whole bunch of stuff that so yeah, it's just one of those things.
Nice.
But I'd add the Patriots there about the list. If you are, if you are preparing ahead or whatever, it is a good idea to kind of have something that kind of directs things. Or I told the guy next door when I died, you can have my TV, give him my TV, or so that way when the guy next door comes over, you're not looking at him crooked, and it creates more issues where there shouldn't be. Things along those lines or whatever. And also, depending on your family, some of these steps could be a little excessive, or maybe you should do more. Example, my father got a will, and I never needed it for anything. Prior to that, he kind of compiled the list of things as far as even PayPal account information, things like who owes him money, things like that, all compiled together in a location, safe information, whatever. And if something was to happen, I would know where to find the information to lead me to the other information, in a sense. So therefore, I didn't need to show really anything to anybody. You know, there wasn't anybody, but I didn't have anybody in between him or I either. So you know, if you're a big family with a bunch of brothers, sisters, things like that, definitely, you know, should protect yourself. Because in my opinion, somebody's wishes should be respected, whether you like it or not. And unfortunately, people aren't that way. Some people want to give all their shit away. Some people don't want a certain person getting a thing, you know. So, you know, and I honestly think it should be whatever they wanted. But unfortunately, if you greed, you know, other people's feelings get in the way, and I just don't think that's right. And don't necessarily trust your wife. You know, everybody's like, oh, it's just easy, just leave it to your wife. Yeah, that's not always necessarily a good idea either. So the people surprise you. That's all I can say. So, and things aren't always how they were in the past. Definitely have protections for your kids or anybody you definitely want to receive something. Don't count on your wife or husband or, you know, sister or whatever.
Yeah, I think I'm going to leave everything to the girlfriend's sister. That ought to leave me some entertainment to watch.
See, that's funny, because that would just be a, you know, big F you in the end for some reason. But you know, if that's what you wanted, it should be respected.
Well, that's the thing. You got people that can't pick out what they want for dinner, let alone what they're going to do with somebody else's stuff. You know, there's people that can't make a decision if you know, it depended on them. So, and putting them in a situation where they got to make choices and stuff. I mean, especially if something sudden happens, that they don't need that extra stuff. Especially if you can figure it out and you're happy with it, then, you know, there's no question. They can just say, "Hey, this is what he wanted. Forget it. You know, it's not on me."
There you go. Now, on that topic, personally myself, I have nothing set up. I've said word of mouth to my son, my oldest son, that anything happens to me, the guns are his. He can, you know, he can share them with his brother if he wants to, but it's up to him. I said, because I ain't going to be here, so I really don't care. You know? And I got nothing else. I mean, the only thing of value that I have in this place is my firearms. Everything is old, falling apart, just like I am. You know, even my truck's over 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? So there's it's pretty sad state of affairs, really, when you come to think about it. But I guess I need to do some legal document, I guess, because I do have a log of all the firearms I have listed by serial number, where I bought them, what I paid for them. What you call it? G23. I'm still waiting for an answer. What was the question? G23. I didn't know. I missed it. But anyway, I have none of that ready. I even told him, I said, when I die, you know, basically just roll me over in the ditch, cover me up, as far as I'm concerned. But I said, if you guys, my relatives asked me this, you know, my cousins and stuff, everything happens to you while you want done. I said, cremate me and just throw my ashes on Mitchell Creek. That'll work. You know, I am.
Get it on paper.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah, because paper don't matter, but it matters between the family, because even that alone, somebody will argue and fight, and then, you know, I can't do that to them and this and that. So you really should make your intentions known.
Hey, Rick, there's something else you're kind of missing here that we should talk about, and that's a trust. And most people think trusts are for NFL items only, but you know, what happens when, you know, let's say you've got a 401k, you know, with $500,000 or $1 million in it, and you become demised, you know, to the point where you're going to have to go to a old folks home because of some disease or something, you know, Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. Well, the way it works is if you have it in a trust, the government can't take that and put it toward your nursing home bill. You can pass that straight on to your kids, but you have to do that 5 years before you need to have that trust to protect it from the government. So you got to kind of think far ahead, at least on a 5-year moving target. When to put your 401k in the trust or those valuable money, because anything over 500,000 or over 5 million, that's not my case, but will be taxed heavily, and that number is going to get worse with the Biden and the Democrats in the warehouse and the White House and Congress, Senate. So think about a trust too. If you've got net worth over 500,000.
Yeah, well, I don't have that much, and if I had that much, I would already cashed it in and be spending it.
I'd pull it out ahead of time if I had any concern or was that old, or old to the point where it could be any day, just to make things easier and cheaper and whatnot, for the kids or whatever. Personally, so less steps, less bullshit, less lawyers you got to hire and people to put paperwork through. But yeah, that's all all debatable and on the person.
Yeah, sorry, I was just answering G23's question. Yeah, so I guess I got to get that. I got to get that organized and put down legally somewhere. I guess sounds like all of us have got to get that done to a certain degree. So
I'd like to fake mine so I could just go start all over again.
Yeah. It's something. I guess it's something that you don't think about that you're gonna. It's something that you're going to one day not be here. I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. I just want to be here. Like even if I'm sitting here talking to you guys, then all of a sudden you see me go head first into the keyboard. That works for me. You know what I'm saying?
You served in the military, right, Rick?
I don't want a long, dragged out illness. I want to go quick.
Nobody does. You served, though, didn't you, Rick?
No.
Oh, I thought you served in the military.
No, I only worked for him.
I
only worked for him.
Okay. Yeah, it's different. Not different, but different. I don't know. I guess I expect to die at some point when, I would rather choose my time. I don't want to go slow or something like that. But, I guess people at different points in their life kind of accept that. But, we're a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? Really, when you think about it, it doesn't seem that way as a kid or young or, to some people ever. But, our timeline in life, when you look at the big span of things, is nothing. I mean, it's literally nothing. So, yeah, you never know, man.
Hey, New York.
Shit.
New York.
Yeah.
When I was 21 and in the Army, my mom gave me 4 burial plots for my 21st birthday. So it was definitely on her mind.
Yeah. It seems morbid. It's stuff people don't want to deal with, but I think that's that fear holds people down sometimes in life, and maybe stops people from doing good things at times. We're not going to be here forever, so do what you can. Try to live life. Don't just exist. Thrive a little bit.
So I got 4 plots and a wife and 3 kids. So I don't know who's out.
Well,
that sucks.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to overcharge you for that extra one, like a son of a bitch.
Well, just put 2 people in the same place in the same plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wish you could legally
cremate them and go for the half plots, right?
Yeah. So this is getting kind of morbid now. I can see where Squib's coming from, But it was just something that I've been thinking about it lately. Even though I don't think of dying, I have every now and then it comes to my it's normally when I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself is when I think about it. That what have I got to leave anyway? Why do I need all that? But I have my firearms. That is the only thing I really have a value. to be quite honest with you. That's what I feel. There might be stuff around here that might be valuable to somebody, but, you know, I don't think so. It's mainly old junk. Mind you, thinking about it, I tell you what I do have a value here. It's all packed up in boxes and carts and containers. Is my model railroad that I have. I've had it. It's traveled with me all around the world.
I'll take it.
I put it up. I've had it up in a few places I've lived. I've made I've laid out a track and made done all the stuff. Had all the scenery and shit like that. In a few places I've lived, some places I've just put the track out and just on the wood and haven't done anything with it. And a lot of places like here, I've been here 2.5 years, and it's still sitting in the boxes and everything else.
Yeah.
You know,
no use burden your family with that, Rick. I'll help you out.
You're take that with you, mind you. The reason I had it up, I was building a display for you running it in when I was living in Rhode Island. I had this beautiful in my living room. It had a shelf that went. It was about 2.5 foot off the ground, and it went all the way around the living room. Except for where the door was, and I was going to do an end to end, track. Train go to one end and turn around, and you would uncouple it from one end, do a thing, come around and hook it up on the other end, and go back in reverse and stuff like that. I was going to do that, and I had it all set up, and had the track laid. I hadn't done much decoration. Well, I say decoration. I'm using easier terms. I haven't done anything with putting grass down, stuff down and all that. It was just a track. Then the cats arrived in my life. And when I started, if I tried to run the train, they would attack it. So I just put it all. So I just took it all apart and put it away. I couldn't do it with the cats there. So that's the story of my model railroad in Rhode Island, and so that's why I don't even set it up here. Because I woke up yesterday morning. Before we go into my next topic, the cats have got a new hobby. I woke up yesterday morning and I thought a dog had got into my house because my toilet roll was rolled all the way out the bathroom, down the hallway, in the living room, around the recliner. And, one of the cats pulled my toilet roll off and just rolled it out all over the floor. See you later, black cat. I woke up and I saw that and I went, Jesus Christ. So because I know there's not a toilet paper shortage right now, but the way this crazy country is going, it could be. So I was trying to roll it up to use as a reserve if I needed it, but the cats kept attacking it even as I was trying to roll it up. So it's that was a total waste of time. So anyway, that's that. Okay, next topic. We're moving on to gun control. Do you think anything's going to be done at federal level? I know there's a bunch of bills coming up, and I think a couple of going to the floor of the House next week. And I think both of those are to do with universal background checks and stuff like that. Of course, they're going to pass the House because the Dems have the majority. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere in the Senate because any bill, any legislation like that, they have to have 60 votes. And it's split 50-50. I can't see them turning 10 Republicans. I can see them turning 5 because we know there's 5 that always side with the Democrats on most stuff. But I
Do they
can't
need
turn 10.
60 or 66?
It's 60. For legislation bill to come across, it's 60. So you have to have 60 votes, and I don't see it happening. The background checks I think will be close because unfortunately, either they're stupid or they don't understand how it works.
You got Mark Rubio and all those weirdos.
There's going to be some Republicans that sign on to it because, we got to save the children. Fuck the children is what I say. Freedom isn't free.
Not literally. The thoughts of Rick is just Rick's and Rick's alone. Gotta be careful these days.
This is my opinions and my opinion only.
Rick's life as he sees it.
Anybody on the panel or YouTube or anything like that. These are mine.
Hashtag no hair sniffers.
Yeah, Vanessa Kitty's right. I say it's 60 votes, because that's got to do with the filibuster. If they can get in there and somehow change that, then it's a different story. But on most things, it's going to be they're going to need 60 votes. So,
well, they're working so hard right now on this COVID deal, and they're pulling all-nighters and fighting tooth and nail over just like the minimum wage part of it. And I'm wondering how much energy and how much fight's going to be left in these people for next week's agendas. You know what I mean? So that's kind of got me a little worried. It wouldn't surprise me if they could get a universal background check passed. The other part of it where they can intentionally delay you forever, I don't think they'll get that one passed. That's just because these two bills are going to be out there all by themselves. This is just dipping their toes in the water right now. They're going to see what they can try to do now, but all the big things that we don't want to happen, they're going to be sticking that into other little bills to make them have to vote on it. That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see the dirty bills and them stuck in there, just like they've, showing us so well they like to do with these COVID packages. They'll slip gun control in there, and then we really got the fight on our hands. But I think when they're just out there independently all on their own, I don't think they'll get 60 votes on some major stuff.
Well, that COVID bill passed, by the way, this morning.
Yeah.
Well, now I don't understand. It was the House is split 50-50, and Harris would be she would cast the deciding vote. Now, the way I read it, it said the vote went down party lines. Well, if it went down party lines, it would be 50-50. But the actual vote was 50-49. So who in the hell's missing? So I just happened to notice that. So,
yeah, because there are 101 votes, right, with the vice president.
Do what?
Well, in the Senate, there's 101 votes because the vice president is the president of the Senate.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, the bill passed this morning, 50-49. That's 99 votes. Where's the 100th vote?
Is one of them an independent?
So one of the Republicans didn't show up, basically, or didn't vote, because all 50. See, the Democrats really don't have the majority when if you get down to real brass tacks. They've only got 48 plus the 2 independents to make it 50. You know?
Yeah,
So-
but the 2 independents are socialists, so I mean, Bernie Sanders is always going to vote Democrat.
I know. But what I'm saying is they won their seat as running as an independent. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of constitutional law I don't understand. So if you have 2 independents, 48 Democrats, how in the hell did the Republicans lose the majority? If they have 50 Republicans, the Democrats only have 48 plus 2 independents. I feel that if they call that 50-50, I think the Republicans should have kept the Senate because there's actually 50 real Republicans. There's not 50 real Democrats.
Well, when they vote for who's going to be leader, they get those 2 votes, and then they get the vice president to vote. So that's 51 votes. So, just because 2 socialists are calling themselves independents doesn't mean they're not going to vote for that side.
Yeah. It just seems cockeyed to me, but hell.
Can I say something on gun control?
Yes, you can.
All right. My opinion, and this is just me, is how I see this is so much of, I guess, I don't know if it's, I guess I'll say like a millennial view that if you bitch and complain enough about one thing, regardless on if it's right or wrong, if you bitch about it, something's going to happen to it. So
Get your ass whooped.
yeah, well, I mean, honestly, you bitch and complain about something enough nowadays, you're going to get heard and something's going to pass because it could be considered insensitive. Someone's going to twist it. So for gun control, someone decided to sit there and bitch about it and bitch and bitch and bitch. And what happened is, the society we live in is if you bitch enough and you go on social media about it, you'll get your way. It doesn't even have to be logical. You bitch about it enough, you'll get your way. That's my opinion.
Not in my house.
In case you guys haven't heard, Dianne Feinstein once again is planning on releasing her proposed bill for banning our rifles. She said it would probably be in about 3 weeks she would pitch it.
She can suck my dick.
Okay. There you go. That answers that one. But I don't know. I think it's going to be hard for universal background checks might slide through because I said, the Republicans are going to think, well, they're saving people by doing that. But I don't think any other gun control bill is going to make it. They ain't going to get the votes for it. Unless I think Jason talked on it. Unless they slide it into some other bill that the Republicans want, or they think the Republicans, will vote for something and they slide this in, and if the Republicans vote against it, they can use it as, well, look, the Republicans don't want you, the Americans, to have this.
Yeah, they'll stick it in an immigration bill or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they could do with the assault weapons ban. And I think that's what they're going to try to do. Because, that's one of his big big things on his campaign. What little campaigning he did do.
Well,
They're sneaky.
One thing is, they're not talking about any real common sense issues or addressing a problem that's really there. everything in their gun control proposals is unconstitutional. So whatever passes, eventually it's going to have to go through the Supreme Court, because some of their outrageous demands are just so far left on that. If it would pass, it's instantly going to get challenged and it's going to be held up. I mean, the Constitution says what it says. You know what I mean? You can't just their feel good politics about it and wanting to ban. I know they've gotten away with a lot of stuff, and we have Nix and all this and that, but they might just screw themselves. They might push something so far tyrannical that the Supreme Court says no, and it hits them in the ass on everything they had planned.
I got a question for everybody to ponder.
Yeah.
They're throwing this stuff out here so that, us out here are focused on it. Friday, they passed H.R. 1 in the House, which means it's going to go to the Senate.
Oh, yeah.
Which covers the federal government makes the rules for all voting. Basically boils down to.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's mail-in voting for everyone, early voting periods, no voter ID, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, do you think that they're throwing all this gun control because they know that that's what we're going to focus on, because that's all we think about? So they think, so that they could slide that through, because I bet you there are several whatever you want to call them, Republicans, like Upton dickhead from Michigan here, that will vote for that stuff. And if that passes, then what? Do they really care about gun control? Because then they can push anything they want through. I don't know.
If H.R. 1 passes the Senate and gets sent to the White House, you might also say, goodbye, America. It's gone forever, as we know it.
You notice they're awful quiet about this. They're not out bragging. Today, we put out common sense gun control. They're not doing press conferences saying we did this. We're finding out from 2A people that, hey, this got done in the middle of the night. This got done in the middle of the night. All next week, all the big news stories, they won't cover Congress voting on gun control, not one bit. The story next week will be about the governor in New York or immigration or something like that. They didn't touch it.
Talking about the insurrection.
Yeah, they'll be on that. They'll be on January 6th, but they won't even mention gun control. 90% of this country won't even have a clue.
The media perpetuates what they want to perpetuate. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're right. But what you were saying there, the article that YouTube thing you sent me, basically what you were just talking about. Yeah. Being very quiet about gun control laws being passed or getting through the,
Yeah, because that's true. Normally, they would be out there. Nancy would be giving her speeches every day, and everybody be weighing in their comments on it, and they would be, putting the news out there trying to get support. This is all being done very quietly and hush hush. That's out of the normal for them. So it does make you wonder what's up.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I don't know. I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I mean, I don't think we need to worry too much about gun control bills at the federal level. I really don't. We got to keep an eye on them, but it's the states you got to worry about.
Well, I mean, H.R. 8 is out there. I mean, my congressman sent me an email about it yesterday afternoon. And her son, Lucy McBath's son, died of a gunshot wound. I think, he was mixed up in some gang thing or looked like a gang thing or something, but regardless, this Congress District number 6 in Georgia used to be Nick Gingrich's, and now it's a Democrat anti-gunner. So they've gerrymandered our district where it'll never go back to being the GOP. So they brought in enough Atlanta vote to water us down the suburbs, and then they stretched our suburbs all the way out to Gwinnett County, with all the foreigners and imports that, they're all on the dole, and so we'll never go back to GOP County in District Number 6. But she's a fervent anti-gunner, and I think she's one of the co-signers of HR number 8, which is the background check one, and it's pretty insidious when you look at it. I wrote her up, a 7-point point of view of my, why it shouldn't pass, but she'll send me back her spill. I'll find out in a day, or Monday or Wednesday sometime.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I don't know. That's right. So I'm reading the chat here. There's a hell of a conversation going on out there. It's a hate Google day out in the chat. We all hate Google.
Google's being very anti-First Amendment lately.
Yes, they are.
That is something to bring up too. That if you are, please take the time to actually look at the bills, and actually look at the bills, not the little short thing that Google throws out there or websites. There's a whole thing on that with, I've been doing this founding father thing, and there's a lot of quotes that are thrown out on, quote websites that are totally out of context, and that goes with anything. So make sure you read the original and not some, excerpt from, somebody that you don't know where they're actually, where their money lies, I guess.
Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, I haven't done it. I haven't looked at the actual official U.S. government website in a while when it comes to these bills going to the House and stuff like this. But there's a section in there, if I remember correctly, that gives a percentage of how likely it's to pass. If I remember correctly, I'm could have sworn I saw it on that site. And I need before I talk about it, I need to go to that site and do my research to make sure I was looking at the right thing, because it all depends on how high, what kind of percentage they were given to pass. So I don't know what message was deleted by Google on Kingpin. So because it's not showing anything deleted here on my end. So
yeah, it won't show us. Google just gets it. I was doing my show on Monday night, and Google was deleting my own comments on my own show.
No, were they? Okay.
I comment about Nancy.
I wasn't even being my normal smart ass self or nothing. You use one word or something that they don't like, and I mean, I didn't even use any kind of controversial words, and it was, it never happened. As soon as you hit it, it's gone. Never shows up on the chats. Just goes away.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what happens, huh?
Yeah, it's just like it's like a, like if you hit something, you usually got like a few seconds delay before it ever hits there. It just never, ever, ever, ever shows up again.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Rich White says it won't show you if Google deletes it. Okay.
Yeah, I had a comment that I put on a video before I released it. I go through and I put it on there, and I came back and it was never there.
Wow.
And that was on just a pinned comment. I pinned it, came back, and the whole thing was gone. The video is still there, but
yeah, I mean,
I wasn't that lucky.
Okay, I see. Oh well. Look, I mean, hey, nobody. When people when 45 said to do something with 230, nobody wanted to touch it, and if they had, this stuff could be stopped. But you can't do anything to them because they're protected. You know? So there you go.
Can I bring up something there, Rick?
Yeah.
If anybody wants to look into stuff and you don't mind reading, because I know a lot of people don't like the reading thing, but if you look up Marsh versus, I want to say it's Alabama. Sounds right, Alabama. And look at that Supreme Court case. I think it was in 46 or 49, 19. Anyways, it was a company-owned town, and it was somebody was trying to pass out literature on the company's sidewalk of the company town, and it was kind of a thing that might tie into the whole social media stuff that's going on. That they say, it's a private business. That actually fought and said it was okay for somebody because everybody uses that as a public space. So anyways, look at the real, like I said, look at the real documents, not just the quick write-ups that people threw out there. But it's Marsh versus Alabama. A little homework. I know Squibb always loves homework.
Rob loves book reports.
Yeah. He's being very quiet on this subject, you know? So.
I'm eating gummy bears.
Hopefully Squibb didn't get crushed.
So much
Anybody
for
see
Mr.
him?
Healthy.
Gummy bears ain't healthy.
Yeah, I
Unless you
said
got a salad flavor.
Yeah, Rob's always got the healthy food, you know, preaching down at us about the salads and the fruits and the vegetables. And some bitch sitting there eating gummy bears, man.
He's sitting
Those
there
are
in
kale gummy
moderation.
bears.
By
his
the
face
hand.
with gummy
All in
bears.
moderation.
I hope you get a hole in your tooth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got that.
Hope you get diabetes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just sick and tired. I mean, in how many days is that asshole Biden being in charge?
45 or so.
The country is
If you-
on the fucking hell already.
Too many. Too
Oh,
many.
You know? And unfortunately, what's the scary thing is, right? How worse is it going to get when they finally get him out of there in the next few months and put Harris in charge?
This country will be a social disaster.
You know, because it's coming. There is no way that Biden will last much longer. The way he's fumbling and everything else. I mean, he didn't even do a State of the Union address, did he? Back in February. And that when they normally do it?
Yep.
You know, he hasn't had a press conference per se, not a real one. He's had a couple of selected comments that he's answered, but he's not had a full board where the whole media is out there. And of course, they're going to pamper him anyway. There's only going to be a few outsiders, you know, Republican sort of or conservative websites and stuff like that who might bring up some tough questions for him, which he can't answer.
It's up to Nancy if she'll let him comment or not.
Pete Ducey seems to be the only one that's allowed to ask him a question, and he just walks off.
Or they shut him down. You didn't see that video where he said, "Well, if that's what you want me to do, Nancy." You didn't see that?
Yeah, I shut off. I'm sorry, but
I mean,
I'm not going to be good with this political stuff anytime soon, because as far as I'm concerned, it's all a damn sham, and them letting them get away with it and stuff we're not even supposed to talk about because they'll do something to you, and all this BS is just a bunch of shit. So I got one person to answer to, and it damn sure ain't him.
He's the most beloved president this country's ever had. 80+ million votes. You know?
Are you talking about Donald Trump?
Now, here's the question. Right? Of course, they got the fence around the government to keep Biden from wandering off. and getting lost. But I mean,
Keeps the kids away.
the Democrats want a wall around the Congress to protect them, to keep the bad people out, but they want to fucking tear down the wall on the border. Fucking amazing. I mean, what's called?
Well, they don't need a wall. They plan on just letting everybody in.
Yeah,
They're just letting the convoys in, and nobody talks about that either.
The other day they let 100. They let a couple of thousand in, but 100 of them, illegal immigrants, tested positive for the COVID, right? And if it was me or you, we'd be told we got to stay quarantined for X amount of days. But they put them on a bus or a taxi or a plane or whatever, and actually they shipped half of that 100. They shipped them up there to Kingpin in Maryland, and they got the COVID. You know, so fuck the mask wearing and everything else. Here's a question for you. Now that you got me on my soapbox, if you're wearing a mask, say we're walking, we go somewhere, and I see you, and you're wearing your mask, and I'm not. Why do I need to put one on if you're wearing one? Because that, according to the way it was explained to me, that mask, for lack of a better term, is to stop your spittle from hitting me. And it's to stop my spittle from hitting you. So why in the hell do I need one?
You're not supposed to think, Rick.
You know?
So you already screwed up. You're thinking. That's a problem. You don't think. You just keep slapping them on and try not to get ran over.
If you take the vaccine shot too, which by all means, if you guys want to do it, go for it. But why do you still have to wear a mask? If this vaccine is meant to be 90% proof.
Because the mask isn't about the
about control, guys. Take the mask off.
It's easier to see somebody with a mask than an armband.
Fuck you.
You're not smart enough to make that decision for yourself. They got it figured out for you. Don't worry.
I'm ready to call my governor's office next week and tell him to fucking drop the mandate too. He's a Republican. He's a conservative. I'm going to tell him to grow some balls.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Nation. Let's act free. You know? Fuck up.
Man, I hope somebody's clipping this.
Yeah, Texas opened up. Who else opened up? Florida, Mississippi.
Florida's been.
Pennsylvania just opened up a little bit, I think.
I'm told the masks are going to be done here soon, so that'd be nice. We'll see what happens. But
now here's
people
the thing.
are talking about it.
If the masks really do help somewhat, you know what I mean? I don't want to see all the old people get infected worse and the death rates go up. You know what I mean? But I don't want the masks either. It should be a person's own choice. You know what I mean? If you want to wear a mask to feel better, that's on you. But it shouldn't be forced. My business can't open. I can't walk into the gas station without one on. I'd like to see the forcing of it removed. If you still want to wear one for yourself or everybody wear it, hey, good on you.
Yeah.
But it's the forcing of it.
Like when I go back,
people concerned and high risk and take different precautions. Like that's what happens with everything else in life.
No, I mean, problem is, put it like guns, gun control, right? I don't think there should be a background check anyway. I don't think if you broke the law and you went to jail and you served your time, you should get all your rights back. I believe in that. So if a bad guy buys a firearm and does damage with it, right? You deal with that person, and it is going to happen sometimes. With the amount of people there is in this country, it's going to happen sometimes. But like I said earlier in this thing, that's the price of freedom. Freedom isn't free. You know, people have died to give us what we've got. And what you're saying today is, fuck all of you who have died for the country. You know, it just pisses me off so much. It really does. So that's my rant.
You can't stop crazy or somebody that was perfectly fine from hitting a switch or having an accident. Yeah, but that can't be done. You know, medical reasons, all types of things. It's not a possibility. So it would make a lot more sense for the general public to be prepared to deal with situations like that and supported by their government in that case. In justifiable causes and things. So, but they don't care about us. That's the whole point. They don't care about us. They want us, under their thumb. The roles have switched.
See, also, you younger guys and ladies, right? Think about it. There's 500,000 people have died, right? Which is a shame. It really is. I don't want to see anybody die. But you realize how much pressure that has taken off of Social Security?
I'm sure they love it.
If I want to wear a mask,
what?
If I want to wear a mask and I want to carry a gun and I go through the right channels to carry a firearm, why is that anybody else's business on if I carry a firearm, if I wear a mask? That's on me. It doesn't, you want to talk about, I hear constantly, you should be doing this. No, this is my choice, my life, and I'm going to do what I feel is best for my life. That's plain and simple for me.
The other day I was looking at yearly deaths from a CDC report. Now, it was a CDC report from, I think, maybe 2019 or 2018, but it's what most people refer back to. If you've ever heard the number of gun-related deaths in America was 39,000 a year. But if you look into that a little closer, 4,000 of them was suicide. So let's just take that and make it 15,000 a year died from what they call a gun incident. Now that includes crimes, accidents, you name it in there. Accidental shootings, hunting accidents, police shootings,
gang violence.
Yeah, that's the big majority of that number is the gangs. But just take that number at 15,000. That's what they're crying about. We need gun control and everything. 39,000 people, same amount as the original gun with the suicide, died in an automobile accident. I don't see them wanting to ban cars and sue Ford out of business.
Medical malpractice is worse.
Yeah, another number to look at, 80,000 people died from just being homeless. No crime, just being homeless. 80,000 people died. More than double the amount of gun violence and more than double the amount of auto accidents. Don't see them doing anything, no homeless relief, trillions of dollars for those people.
How many kids died of a swimming accident, a drowning versus a gun accident?
Yeah, in the very next number on there, 100,000 people die a year from alcohol. Now, I don't see them up there in Congress wanting to ban alcohol either.
No, because they can profit from alcohol. That's the thing. They can profit.
They tried banning alcohol once before and it didn't work. It backfired on them big time.
Yeah. It's all about control or safety for the government to enforce power at will over you. Everything to this day is still pretty much solved by force and a gun. And they don't want you to be able to fight against that. It's that simple. Whether it's a bad guy, whether it's them. Yeah, if you don't show up for court, what's going to happen? People with guns are coming. That's the way things go.
Yep. Yep, and the reason they want to take the guns away from the people, for they can control you better. If you don't have a firearm, they can do whatever they want to you. You know,
Okay.
they take the firearms away from us, right? They can take you can kiss free speech goodbye, literally, because how are you going to stop them from doing anything? How are you going to stop the
Government's on a power trip
from doing anything?
Do you guys ever watch anything on I don't know how who is it? Travis Haley. You guys probably know about him. He put out something. This was a couple years ago about Second Amendment and the government and everything. And what he said actually really hit me good. You know, I don't. I can send you guys a link if you want to look at it. But I mean, he made some good points. You know, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about him, but you know, I can easily link it into you guys.
Something that just popped in my mind when we were talking about the gun control. I think one of the big things we need to worry about, you know, that we bring up time to time, is any kind of bill that's going to let them create some type of registration. Because until they have a registration that's actually is legitimate and it works, they have it, they can't do anything about anything else they pass. They can't just ban everything you got turned in tomorrow if they don't know that you have it or not. So their first step is always going to have to be, they have to get a registration. And once they have that, then they can act and move forward. Without that, all they can do is slow down and restrict new people getting guns or us getting any more. But they can't do much about what we already got.
No, but I personally believe that they already have an unofficial registry anyway.
Yes, and they just can't legally use anything.
They can't use it against us right now.
Yeah.
They need to legalize they need to legalize it. You know? And because don't tell me, I mean, come on. You're going to tell me that they delete all the info from a 4473 within 24 hours like the law says? You know?
Well, what about all the ones that get turned over to them after a company shuts down?
They're more likely to delete that info, you know, after they copied it onto another separate file. You know?
Hell, they probably invented computer storage just to keep the shit.
They don't need a registry to get rid of everything, though.
What do they need?
All they got to do is ban it. I've already went through that. They ban everything. You're not taking it to the range. You're not taking it out. So you either have it hidden under your steps, you got it buried in your backyard, whatever. You're not taking it out. You're not going to the range. You're not teaching your kids about it, right? Your kids are going to school for how many hours a day? Learning that guns are bad. Bad parents aren't teaching them correctly. So there's a handful of kids out there that are either going to think you're a patriot because you have firearms and you've taught them well, or you're a criminal because only criminals have guns, right? So what's going to happen? You're going to keep them buried until you die.
And colleges are becoming a haven for.
Hey! I still haven't got rid of the guns yet. Anyway, so you got them hidden. Then what happens? You die. They get them. Either they keep them buried and hidden because they're not using them, they're falling apart, or they turn them in. So within 1 to 2 generations, you could be gone with nothing. Okay, done.
Colleges are becoming a haven for this kind of shit. That's what I see.
What I want to know, we talked about this before the election, during the election, after the election, but I'm being serious now. I mean, the way that we've seen the country go in since January 20th. I mean, and we keep saying that the reason that we have guns is to stop the government from trying to control us and everything else. But what's it actually going to take for us to say enough is enough? And we use those guns to stop the government? What's it going to take for that point to happen?
When they're doing stuff that is to a level where you've got nothing to lose, where they're literally going down the street with armored vehicles and military and kicking in each door one at a time, raiding every building, blah, blah, which they don't have enough manpower to do everything at once. It'd take forever. But that, or where they're forcing people to abort their children because you can only have 2 kids per family like they did in China, or other things where they're actually threatening people's lives, where they're actually threatening your family, where, fuck it, they're going to burn the house down around us. We might as well take a few of them with us. Until that happens,
When everybody feels it.
it's a deterrent. It's a deterrent. That's what it was always meant to be. It was meant to be a deterrent. All these people that come on YouTube going, it's gone, we need to do this and do that, they are the first ones to turn and run. As long as it's a deterrent, we're going to have a peaceful country. We're going to have a safe place to raise our kids. We're going to hopefully be able to pass things on to them. But when it's really on, it's really on. But you've got to, with the exception of the few people out there that seem to have nothing to lose, if you've got something to lose, you've really got to think about it. You've really got to think about it. I mean, I'd rather be free than not, but I got a family dependent on me, and a lot of other people can say that too. I'm not talking about Cheeto Man being lazy on the couch. I'm talking about people that are using their heads. So when my family's life is threatened, that's where I've got nothing to lose at this point, and I'm going to make them regret doing something. Until then, I mean, be smart about it.
I know I liked you, Squib, for a reason.
Everybody likes Squib.
Fuck all you.
No, you made a lot of sense there, Squib. You really did.
Yeah, that's pretty much how what it's going to take is when they come to say, give it up. When it's come and take it, that's when they're going to run into their trouble.
Well, see, people have been saying they don't have enough manpower. I mean, today's police force is a private army. You know what I'm saying? And most police today will do what they're told, not what the Constitution.
The numbers aren't there though, Rick. When you think of how many police per individual, and then you can break it down, firearms, how many would actually possibly resist. And when you think about it, grandma will resist when somebody's trying to snatch up the grandkids. So there's a lot to that. Number wise, it's not there. But
look at the big cities.
I don't want to get into this 100% because I don't want to give people ideas. They could give you a very hard time because they control the media, they can control the phones, they can black certain areas out. There's a lot of things that could be done that would be difficult and take longer for people to catch up on. But on a mass scale, I don't see it happening right off the jump.
I disagree with you. Right? Take my town I live in right now. Population of 500. It wouldn't take many the state police to go from door to door, knocking on your doors, running there, taking everybody's gun from this one town. Boom. Then they move on to the next one.
Okay. Look at my township. Look at my township. We're in the
how many hunters would it take to slow that police station down or stop it? If it's been announced and it's happening, it doesn't matter. A force can get slowed down, stopped, eliminated. You could have 12 cops that are taken out by 3 hunters. That just enough's enough. You're not coming down this road. You can say it won't happen that way, but everybody's not Rambo. Everybody with a badge isn't Mr. Badass.
You're missing the point. What I'm saying is, once they've done that, you won't know they've gone through my town, door to door, until after the fact. You're not going to find about it as it's happening. You'll know about it after it's done.
It'll slowly leak out, and that'll be the problem.
You got to be able to take the fight to them. So what if these police officers, this police chief, they're following orders and they're going door to door, and they're taking your guns or doing whatever. Well, while you're doing that, what if I just sneak my ass on over to your house and I'm sitting there having a nice conversation with your wife and kids when you come home? We're going to be at loggerheads for a moment then, ain't we? They think they can come to your house and push you around. But what happens when I got everything in your life's hostage right now? You know what I mean? You want my guns? I want your ass. You know, they can't beat us.
Is driven so much by what any type of negative press that they receive, is my opinion. They are, you know, they have to, you know, I mean, a commissioner has to, like, you know, so much of it is PR. It's not common sense, it's just PR. So to me, it's like they might arrest you for something, but that doesn't mean they agree with it. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, people don't like to say this. Right?
We grant law enforcement a.
Yeah, go on, I'm listening.
I don't know. I'm just.
Okay, here's a question. Here's something for everybody to ponder. Right? They claim, I'm just throwing out some bold figures that I've heard. There's 400 million guns in this country. There's roughly 100, just over 120 million gun owners. All right, keep that figure in your head there. But this country has 350 million people in it. So there's 250 million people who are not gun people. We are fucking outnumbered, guys. We're losing. Think about it.
Okay, great. There's more people who don't have guns. That's an advantage for us. All right.
It took 3% to kick the British's ass.
Look, okay, Rick, you want to use your podunk town as an example, but you've got 500 people. How many cops do you have? 5? None. Okay, there you go. Look at the ratio of people to law enforcement. We've got the city or the township police department, which has its own SWAT team, and we have the county sheriff, which has its own SWAT team, and choppers and everything else right here. And my subdivision's got more firepower than them combined. And then we're just one subdivision in the township, in the county, in the state. So, you know, it would be suicide if they decided to do something en masse. Now, if they want to single out one person and make an example out of them or do one raid a week or something like that, sure. That's why the whole that'll work. You can surround a house and tell everybody they got to leave and, you know, make one person vilify them and do this. I mean, most of the time when this stuff happens, these guys really are nut jobs, but pretty soon they'll be calling everybody a nut job. The thing is, though, they don't have enough time and manpower to hit every single house. You know, even if they were hitting 3 houses a day, they'd never get it done. Their grandkids would still be doing it. You know, there's no way to do it all at once. So like what Patriot said, they'd have to ban it. And they'd have to get it into the culture that this stuff isn't good to have, and eventually we'll all die off and it'll all get lost or destroyed.
Yeah, the police force is not special forces. I don't think there's been any incident where the police in this country have took on like an entire armed neighborhood. You know, that's not their role. That's not their job. That's not what they're going to do.
Yeah, they park outside of L.A. when that
I mean,
happens.
look at the 2 bank robber dudes that were all cranked up on meth, had body armor out in California in the 80s. They walked around shooting everything up and took out half their police force. You know what I mean? These police are not. That's not their job. It's not their training. It's not their duty to be special forces commandos and raid every single body's house. So they just can't do it. They just can't do it.
They can't even stop a tank driving down the freeway.
Even the Army can't pull this off. Look at some of the horror stories coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan and house-to-house fighting, and we're the most technical army in the world, and we're taking on a bunch of guys wearing robes and an AK. Or in Vietnam, we're the most technical, well-equipped army in the world, and we're taking on some guys running around in the jungle with an AK and getting our asses kicked. These little countries are the size of just like one state. Even the military can't come in and go door to door to everybody in this country and disarm them.
And you also have to look at how many people in law enforcement and the military would refuse. In the military, you can refuse an unlawful order. All right. Going door to door and kicking in. Somebody's going to say Katrina, and I don't give a shit. Okay. Going door to door, kicking in civilians and taking their property is not a lawful order. So, you know, the thing is, with this, there's a lot of horror stories. There's a lot of things that people want to fantasize about, and I'm going to be a badass finally, and all this. It's a bunch of shit. Sure, things can happen. This can happen, that can happen. Some things might succeed, some things might fail. But the thing is, it's deterrent. We don't want to die. They don't want to die. And if they're doing what they were elected and appointed to do, they won't mess with our rights, and our rights deter them from getting, more powerful than they're supposed to be. The thing is, there's just not that balance right now. You don't have that balance between the authority and the deterrence and all that, and it scares some people. And there's lots of people that make money off of our fear. I'm not saying we shouldn't do anything. No, being complacent doesn't work either. All right. But being terrified over fantasy scenarios that's not productive either.
No, but they are not only just 2A, but they are taking our rights away all the time. And I was saying this the other day down at the diner. I remember back in the 70s, I know some of you weren't even, a gleam in your father's eye then, right? But I used to be down here on the farm. My uncle would say, we're going down to the store. We're all piling to the back of the pickup truck in the bed there while he drives down to the store. That is totally illegal today. That's freedom being taken away. Little things like that. I remember riding my bicycle. I didn't need a fucking shoulder pads, knee pads, or elbow pads, fucking helmet. If I fell over and cut myself, broken arm, oh well. Part of growing up. Today, you wear all this protective equipment. We don't want to hurt you. We're turning it into a bunch of fucking painsies.
Safety culture, man. The coddle culture.
It's still legal to pack a vehicle. You just have to be somewhere near the border.
Or in a Suburban.
You understand what I'm saying? Those kind of freedoms, they're chipping away at us. All right? Good example. I mean, I do it automatically without even thinking about it. I get in my truck, click on the seatbelt. I remember you never had to use them. I remember cars being made without them. I'm not saying they're not a good feature, but we're forced to wear them. If we don't wear them, you get a ticket. That's freedom being chipped away, little by little.
Yeah, but when they come after your First Amendment, boy, they take big old chips, big old bites.
No, they come after the First Amendment already. I can't even buy Dr. Seuss book that I want. It was one of those 6 titles.
Rick's not telling everybody that he wants to buy Dr. Seuss because that's about where his reading level is.
Hey,
that's actually Dr. Seuss's family that decided to stop selling those books.
Wasn't it everybody's president, Obama? Didn't he tell a bunch of people everything you need to know about this world is in Dr. Seuss? That's all I'm saying.
We need to find a way to take this cancel culture and use it against them. And just let them guys just start canceling themselves out.
Well, they already started.
Yeah, I know. I see a little bit of it. I'd just like to see a lot more of it to where they can try to cancel some things and the people are just, you're ridiculous and it doesn't go nowhere. Let them feed on themselves, cannibalize themselves and their ridiculous ideas.
In some of the Dr. Seuss books I was reading too, that they what they say, they misrepresented Asian Americans, and I'm Asian, right? I read those when I was growing up. Did I take offense to them? No. Everybody's so goddamn sensitive now. You know, if you don't like the book, or if you don't want to teach your children something like that, then don't fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Now, okay, but let's say you were offended. Why should any of us care except you? Just like if we're offended by something that you don't see a problem with, why should you care? It's on the individual to be offended, and it's a feeling. You feel there are times where there are things you guys say that piss me off, or I let it trigger me. It's not that you trigger me; I let it trigger me. But it's as long as we're a free society.
That's the thing.
You guys have the right to keep saying it. I have the right to keep saying my thing. And if we would get some spines as a country, if we would get some backbone, we'd learn to get over stuff. We'd learn to communicate when it's really that important. We'd learn to let things go and go, they just said a word. They're just telling a joke. They don't walk a mile in my shoes, whatever the hell it is, instead of going, I'm a victim. No attention for me. That's what we've turned into. This country it's all about attention for me because feel bad for me. No, you know what? That's not very American. The American way is not to have a pity party, but that's what it's turned into.
But if you feel, if you feel that something offended you, then that offended you. Grow a sack. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Hey, the only people in this country that should feel grieved in any kind of way at all is the Native American. Because as a country, we fucked them over big time.
Okay, you know what? They live in the greatest, most prosperous, most well-protected country on the earth. And have you ever been to a casino or been to a reservation?
Yes.
They got the best land. They don't pay any taxes. They get free health care. I don't want to hear it.
Cheap cigarette.
But I'm not saying. I just say as a grievance, it's them, and a lot of them don't. I mean, Connecticut has two of the biggest casinos outside of Las Vegas. The two casinos in Connecticut are the biggest in Las Vegas. I mean, and they're
got the biggest drug problem.
You have one's called Foxwoods, the other one is Mohegan Sun. Look them up.
When I used to work at the iGaming, always the chief of the tribe he's always like 6'6", and big old Indian guy, and then the little people that are the workers are all the exploited little Indian people, of shorter stature. I mean, it's still, the big guy is the chief, like it was, 200, 300 years ago in Indian territories.
Well, I mean, where I was going with that is, I'm not saying it. I mean, where I was going, if any
drives a Bentley,
grievance, and I'm not saying they do, but I mean, we used to give treaty after treaty, and we broke it every time.
Hey guys, I got to get going though. It was great. Thank you, Rick. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Later, Luke.
See you later.
Bye. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, I think it's undeniable the Indians got screwed. If you're looking back on history and things like that. They had good reason to be upset with the sickness, all types of stuff. But that's a long thing, a long time ago, unfortunately. So, and when you talk reparations in the United States, like what about that? They should probably get some dibs on land or something. You know what I mean? And kind of screwed them over and kicked them off to a little spot. So I don't know, but I'm not down with the reparations. I shouldn't have said that.
You know who's not getting screwed by America? A transgender illegal alien. They got it fucking made around here.
Rob, you're not down with reparations because you just break even.
Yeah.
I just, you can't really fix what's happened. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, you can't really turn back time. That you can't improve somebody's quality of life over a past generation. So, it's almost like, parents suing to get $1 million because their kid died. Like, it's sad your kid died, but, if it was something faulty or this and that, sure. But just suing because you can to get some money. I mean, it does. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me.
You know
Well,
what
they call themselves progressives, but yet they don't want to progress. Putting the past behind us and saying, yes, this wasn't cool by modern standards, but we're not there. We're here. So let's move forward. Let's progress. But they're not progressive. It's just a term they use. They actually keep dredging up the past and twisting history and not being objective and not judging it with any sense of intelligence and using it to divide us. And then, people scream reparations because it's all about money and everything else. And it's just more division, and we're not really progressing.
Yeah. Hey, you begin 1400.
Plus, it'd be a never-ending story too.
So,
you know what we need is a person of transgender to come forward, a transgender to get delayed or denied under 4473. Then we can claim how the whole NIC system is insensitive and hurtful, and maybe we can get rid of it that way.
hey, maybe that might work.
Yeah, their laws are racist against people. You know that. Remember, our immigration laws were racist. They had to go on day one. So let's turn it into the NIC system is racist. It's denying a person's right, a transgender's right.
Well, hold on.
The religion where you're not allowed to write, so you can't write anything for an ID or write anything for this or that. And that's your religion. You can't fill out tax paperwork.
If you're a conservative, you have no rights.
What if you're a lesbian stuck in a man's body and still like women?
What if CAT really spelled dog?
Anyway, guys, I'm going to wind this up as much as I love it. My cats are scratching the shit out of me. My leg here, and I'm getting hungry.
Hey, Rick, if you die, who gets the damn cats?
Fuck it. They get to eat me. They'll be okay. They'll get to eat me till somebody finds me. But, the other day, I know I spend all Monday through Friday between 10 a.m. and noon. I am down at Deb's truck stop. I go in there and we sit there and bullshit for 2 hours. We solve every day. We solve the world's problems, But anyway, I was talking about that Native American thing I brought up, and I was talking about that and everything else, and I only found. I didn't know this. I was told this years ago by my father, but I didn't believe it. That see me, blonde hair, as white as I can be, blue eyes. That there is a trace of Native American blood in my system. Back of 3 or 4 generations ago, there was. One of my relatives was married to an Indian woman. So there you go. So can I start putting Native American on any paperwork I have to fill out when they ask for my nationality or whatever it is?
Sign it, Rick Warren.
Depends what percent.
If you're 164th
or something.
164th, right?
Yeah. I don't know what percentage it is, but it's there. I was wondering if I can use it.
But the question is, all that time you spent down at Deb's, did you go to the range this week like you said you were going to?
No. It didn't happen.
Okay, you got homework for Wednesday.
But it is scheduled for this coming week. And I tell you what, my friend who has his own private shooting range in his backyard, is going to change my oil on my truck. So I told him I'm going to pack my range bag when I come over for the oil change. He says, no problem. Coming over. And he said, after we get the oil change done, we're step outside and start shooting. So there we go. It's happening this week. So anyway, let's go around the panel here, see what we got. Who we got up in the corner? Jason, any shout outs or plugs?
Thanks for the invite. Great conversation as usual. Come join and hang out with me on Monday nights around 8 o'clock we'll do a show called The Moan and Groan. And good to see everybody. And tomorrow night, check out Rich White's wrestling channel. It's going to come on about an hour early. And later on tonight, check out G23.
Okay. Oh, real quick. Kingpin reminded me. Don't forget my quiz. The answer, I need it by next Saturday, 12 noon, email only. The question was, hang on, let me find it. Here it is. I want to know, I think I got about 5 entries so far. I want to know I want the name of the person who invented the first modern fragmentation grenade. The first modern fragmentation grenade. I want his name. There you go. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com.
I think he was from Chicago.
Right. New York Outcast. Any shout outs or plugs?
No, just hopefully if your buddy there that's doing your oil change doesn't forget to put your drain plug back in, because if not, I'm sure he's going to be getting a restraining order against you, because he's not going to want you coming over at that point.
You're Debbie Downer. You really are. You know?
No. It was attempted a bad joke. I'm sorry.
No, it was a bad attempt at a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever. Sure.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
So, Squab, you got any shout outs or plugs?
No, I'm good. Thanks for keeping me company while I'm out here freezing.
That's not a problem.
Damn, you're still on that?
You haven't done that boat yet? Jesus Christ.
I'm on the last wheel. I got to tell you, I should have saved this for Wednesday. This arthritis is killing me.
It will be working out in the cold like that. You ain't doing yourself any favors. When you
buddy.
get old,
You gotta be out of shape, man.
So, Will and Well Armed. Any shout outs or plugs?
Yeah, I had a video yesterday on CZ Pre-B, and today the semi-compact CZ. Both of them are in nickel. I call them brother and sister. And then tomorrow I've got a nice AR video. So, but appreciate. Look at everybody on the channel. If you're not subscribed, everybody here has some really good content. So that's it, Rick. Thank you.
All right. And of course, save it for last. The man, the myth, the legend, Patriot in the Dark.
I don't know what to say after all that. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate you having this show every week, and it's a pleasure to be included. So I appreciate it, and thank you for putting this on and putting up with everybody like Rob and Squib and I and everybody else too.
All right.
But I do appreciate it. I did drop a video today. It's the first of 4 that it's kind of wrapping up that whole 25 video series. And it's actually got some good questions and things to look up and to educate yourself. So check it out if you want to.
All right. I just want to say, he's been very active in the chat today, Kingpin. So he must be working. Otherwise, he would have been lively in here today. So I miss Kingpin being in here. So, all right, guys. I'll be back on Wednesday.
Can I throw in something really quick?
Yeah.
Make sure you check out Kingpin's videos over on Odyssey, because they're better than on the YouTubes, and good stuff. He always makes videos to make you think instead of just the average regurgitating that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So they are they've got his own spin on it, and we all appreciate that. So that's it. Sorry.
All right. All right. So I'll be back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. with Shooting with Disabilities. If you guys got any questions you want answered on that subject, email me and I'll bring them up to the panel. Don't be anything you want to know, go ahead and ask it. You know, if you think it's awkward, I don't know how to ask, you know, just send me the question you want and I will bring it up to the panel and we'll see what kind of answers we get for you. So anyway, that's it. I want to say thank you everybody for being here and spending this Saturday afternoon with me. Even Clovertech showed up. So it's good to see you. And I really do appreciate it. DJ Play Nice is keeping the old chat going there as well. There's been quite a few people in there today. I'm quite impressed. You know? So, all right. I am out of here. And I will see you all on Wednesday. So, good night. I've lost my gun. Where? Oh no, I'm froze. It won't let me go to my page.
Welcome to overtime, everybody.
Yeah. I mean,
Good to me.
Chrome.
What's for lunch?
I mean, actually, because I'm using Chrome,
Oh, crap.
and Chrome won't let me.
Goddamn Google, man.
Yeah, damn Google, they got me again, bastards.
Open lobby.
You know.
So what's the cut of the week?
I've got through now, so I'm going to hit the end stream button. Google's freed itself. So, all right, people. Thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all on Wednesday. So, goodbye, everybody.
Good night, Sabrina.
If you can't
Viking
be the
fan.
one you love the one you're with.
Hasta la vista, baby.